Ahorita vamos a hablar un poco con esta presentación. La presentación es de Kate Swanberg. Esta presentación es de Mobile Monetization. ¿Listo? Kate, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Hola, mi nombre es Kate Swanberg y hoy no estoy hablando contigo en español porque mi español es más o menos malo. Entonces, thank you very much to the translator. Hopefully you guys have the earphones if you don't understand English or need me to slow down. I'm a fast talker, so just let me know. So, let me first introduce myself. My name is Kate Swanberg and I work for Cumbia. I've been living in Barranquilla, Colombia for about a year and doing growth marketing for Cumbia startups and products. Cumbia is an international web and mobile design and development agency. So we, in a nutshell, we create web and mobile apps. We currently have most of our clients who are Fortune 500 companies and some startups in the United States. So basically, what do? I produce content for businesses, how to build MVPs, how to implement mobile into your existing web strategy, or build a mobile app, some simple steps for UI, UX design, basically trying to help startups and entrepreneurs grow. Also the enterprises as well, because that's great. How many of you guys here are currently either an entrepreneur or have a startup? Cool, great. Do you guys have a mobile app? No mobile. Okay, cool. So I encourage for you guys to follow me on oh, this isn't showing the same thing. Sorry. It should be showing this, but it's showing the video. Great. And when I go back to the video.
Yes, don't tap. No.
Great. Great. So I encourage for you guys to follow me on Twitter at KE Swanberg and hashtag mobile money. With any questions you guys might have during the presentation, if I can't get to them, I can always answer them later. So, let's get started. How do you get your end user to pay you? You're putting in all this work with development and design, and you're not getting paid for it. At Cumbia, we have developers who can create apps in literally 24 hours. They're like, I can create that so fast. And, time is money. So it's really important to learn how to put monetization first. And I'm sure you've all heard the statistic that 90% of startups fail. Unfortunately, it sucks. A lot of them fail. And the problem is that people are just building a mobile app. They're not building a business. So I challenge you, if you're in development and design and you're creating an application, to make it a business. Think of it as a business. Validate your product. Figure out a monetization strategy, or else you could be wasting your time. So I'm going to go over with you today the agenda. How to outline early stage revenue. The 5 basic ways to monetize mobile apps currently. User experience, do's and don'ts. This is really important when you're keeping a user engaged, and especially when you want to get users, right? The features of your mobile product are very important, or can disengage your user just like that. We've seen that happen with a lot of big companies. How to have a mobile first strategy. We have a lot of people, a lot of businesses and clients who have already a web application. But when it comes to mobile, sometimes you see it getting squished, trying to put all this different stuff into your mobile screen. Your mobile screen is so tiny. You need to be able to make sure it's simple and easy to use and not so complicated. And then we'll go over a mobile validation checklist so you guys can get on your way to building an app. And this presentation is mostly for people who either want to develop an app, are an existing business trying to add mobile into their strategy, or are just early stage startups. So mobile app growth is at an all-time high. We all know this, right? That's why you guys are all here today. According to a recent CNN article and report from ComScore, January 2014 marked an inflection point in which mobile traffic began outpacing the web. That's huge. Mobile traffic is outpacing the web right now. So it's no surprise, right, that companies are looking for unique ways to add mobile into their strategies and get online engagement through mobile. Taking industries unknowns from web and applying them to mobile isn't always the best strategy. Building out a mobile strategy requires a completely different approach altogether. And at Cumbia, we have many clients who want to get mobile or become more mobile. But to understand what this means, companies first need to take a step back and look at the industry. What kind of company are you? Depending on your industry, you might need a completely different mobile strategy. So last year, just some more stats to kind of convince you guys mobile is, our future, as if you didn't know. Facebook improved the mobile UX of its advertising products, resulting in significant business success. This was the first time Facebook had ever put mobile first. They realized, they saw the future of it, everything. So 48% of their users accessed with mobile device only. That's almost half. Half of their users are coming from mobile. And then on top of it, as we all know, Facebook makes a ton of money through their ad spend. Almost half of their ad spend from $2 billion in ad revenue came from mobile. It's almost half. And it's growing. So let's get started. As I talked about before, the industry, and here are some examples of, let's see, five different apps. We all know Uber. It's in Bogota right now. I know it's not, unfortunately, in Barranquilla where I am and Cali here. So it's a service industry, and their main feature is scheduling. We have Orbitz. Maybe some of you guys use that to get here today. It's a travel industry, and their main feature is booking. And you can see so on. We're going to be talking about Shazam and Tinder a little bit later. So, to charge to download or not. Many companies still use outside firms like Cumbia, and others are learning internally, like Google and Facebook, how to build out mobile initiatives faster. With all these costs going into future innovation, it is easy to wonder how offset expenditures are only monetizing mobile is not for everyone. Many times, mobile is the only way of generating business. It can be for some organizations an operational expense. For others, it's just a mobile budget and additional revenue streams. And so one thing I really want to point out is launch now, monetize later approach doesn't work. Okay? People always are like, I just want to build it and I'll figure out how to monetize that later. But then you go through all that work trying to build this application, and then it can fail. And most times it does. You need to have a monetization strategy. You need to look at this as a business, and that's kind of the key point of this entire presentation. So, currently, we have 5 ways to monetize mobile, and most of these are through ads and subscriptions and stuff. The very first one is display advertising. This one is the oldest one in the book, okay? This is just when you're working with advertisers. Your ads are on a CPM basis, so if you're marketing, you know that's the thousands of impressions that people are seeing. You're getting paid. But now what does that mean? You need to have a large user base in order to use display advertising and to be successful at it. Okay? these sold places, otherwise you're not going to make any money. And one bad thing about display advertising is it does fluctuate depending on your marketing, your marketplace and everything. And we have an example. Oh, well, here's first an example of web. These are like banner ads, right? So display advertising, what you do is when you click on it, what does it do? Anyone? It takes you to another web page, right? And so we see here, here's some more examples of in the mobile apps, you have these ads, and when you click them, it takes you to another web page. Flappy Bird, we all know and love Flappy Bird. I still have it, thank goodness. That's another example of the display advertising. So, a few years ago, Steve Jobs built in-app ads into iOS, right? This was huge. This is completely different. We're going to watch a video, and you're going to see the difference between in-app ads and display advertising. Let's see. Perfect.
Apparently you're going into the ad business. You were never in the ad business. That's a new business for you, right?
Sure. We're going into the ad business because we want to help our developers make some money so that they can keep providing free or really low-cost apps to customers. That's why we're doing it. We're not going to make much money in the ad business. We're doing it for our developers.
And why wouldn't you just why wouldn't it be just okay for other people who are already in the mobile ad business or are moving into it?
We're going to be able to make our developers as much money because the way they're going about it sucks. Okay? You know, you get a mobile
Always
ad.
temperate.
He is not letting us lie here.
You get a mobile ad and you touch the banner. See, here's what, let me start at the beginning.
Go ahead.
Something really interesting has happened. That people are not spending their time searching. They're not doing searching anywhere near as much as they do on PCs. We've got all the data. We know this. They're spending their time in apps. So for whatever reason, if people want to find out that restaurant to go to, they're not going to their search engine typing in Japanese in Palo Alto. They're going to Yelp or whatever other app they want. And I don't know why it's different than on PCs. I think I do, but I'm not sure. I think it's because there never was one place with 200,000 apps So I think people are using apps, well, we know they are using apps way more than they're using search. So if you want to make developers money, you put ads in the apps.
Right.
The ads in apps now are banners,
Right.
and you touch them, and what is the first thing they do?
They take you to a web page.
Yeah, they rip you out of your app, send you to the browser, and all of a sudden, if you're not interested in that ad, you've got to figure out a way back to your app, and even if you can do that, you've got to figure out in some cases how to get back to the exact place in your app. If you're playing a game, you're probably not going to make it back to the same place. Back to where you left off, right where you left off in your app. People would explore the
You don't
web.
have faith that anyone else can do it.
Sure, but nobody else is doing it. And so we could build it into the OS so the apps don't have to do it. We can make it so that an app developer can add these interactive ads in their apps with 30 minutes worth of work.
So, as you guys can see, the difference in display ads compared to in-app ads, right? Have an example. So this was an example for the Toy Story 3. Yeah, Toy Story 3 movie. As you can see, this is way, way different. This pops up in your mobile, whichever mobile app you're in, and you can easily exit it out, and you can actually interact in that app. So, as Steve Jobs was saying, if you're in a game or something and you go to display ad, it's generally not very, very useful because you can lose your place in that app. So these interactive in-app ads have been like the new way to look at the ads. The new way to look at the ads for mobile. So the third one is data licensing.
Okay. No, I'm going to pantalla completa.
Okay. And so what data licensing is, we hear it a lot. And this only works, again, for a significant user base. Yeah. Most app developers, let me take a step back. I was a mentor at Startup Weekend in Barranquilla, and I would ask some of the teams, I went around and I was like, so how do you plan to validate your product? How do you plan to actually make money? And a lot of them were saying, oh, well, I'll just partner with Olympica. I'll partner with Jumbo. And we're doing cross-promotion, so we have all of this, and they want to do, more cross-promotion, just assuming. And a reality check is, unless you're BFFs with the CEO, it's not going to happen. Unless you have a huge network and a huge data supply, it's not going to happen, right? And we see examples of this, of like selling the APIs and selling the data, getting acquired by big, large companies. Facebook and Instagram, right? Instagram started off free. It gained a bunch of users, tons and tons of users. And as you know, for advertising, we love data so we can track you, target you, and whatnot. And so Facebook wanted that data. They wanted not only that awesome app, but the API and everything else that came with it. And again, that was for you need a significant user base. So, number 4, in-app purchases. This is good. If you're a startup, there is hope, right? There's hope to make money on your app. In-app purchases is probably my best suggestion for you. You often start off as a freemium or low-cost version of the app, and that attracts the user base, right? Snapchat, Instagram, it attracts that user base. And then, depending on the price point of the purchases, your company could monetize. And we see this a lot with games, actually. And mobile e-commerce, obviously. If you already have a web platform like Olympica has it too, you can buy online, or Falabella. You can buy your stuff online, and it just makes sense these days to have a mobile app and make money off of the e-commerce, off of purchasing from your mobile app. But the other way for the in-app purchases is, I said like the commerce to the left. We have Angry Birds in the middle, and we have Candy Crush on the right. And I am a huge victim. I'm a victim to this. I think it was Candy Crush, and I was stuck for 4 days on that same level. And then, like, voila. Like, they gave me an opportunity to get to that next level and beat all my friends who were on the same level as me by purchasing, I don't know, I forget, I think I could purchase to the next level for 99 cents. So how many times did I do that? Probably 5 times within like a week span, just because I'm a very competitive person. And you see it with Angry Birds as well. To get more coins, you can pay for it. These in-app purchases are golden. I don't have the number offhand, but it's way more than $600,000 Candy Crush is making. Like, I don't know if it's per day or per month. I have to recheck on that, but it's crazy the amount of numbers that they're doing. And even when you're doing in-app purchases, if you have a gaming app, it's super, super awesome because it goes viral. You know, it kind of gets emotional and physical. You get that feeling that you need to move on and beat your friends. It's just human nature. So I definitely recommend in-app purchases. We do that a lot for people just starting out with their mobile applications. And then as well as e-commerce, that's pretty simple. You're buying a product simply on your mobile app. So definitely in-app purchases. You can have a small or large user base. So number 5, subscriptions. I'm also a victim to subscriptions. So users sign up for your app, and usually they're free. The ones that I've seen are free. And depending on the price point purchases, a company can monetize with a small or large user base. I also recommend this for startups and entrepreneurs. This is very powerful also for business to business. We know Dropbox. Dropbox, you can have a subscription monthly or yearly, and you know, you pay for more storage. And that's how these companies are making money. Cosmopolitan, I know I'm a girl, but I love Cosmopolitan, and what they do is they offer the free app, and then you can buy each month. Magazines do this a lot. You can buy each month for 99 cents. However, I'm not sure about Colombia, but in the United States, you can get like a form or something, and you can get the yearly subscription for $10. $10, and they're charging their yearly subscription for $20. So I actually find it kind of funny what Cosmopolitan did. Print is dying. Well, I don't like to say dying. Print is not dying. Print has digressed, right? Print has digressed. And so Cosmopolitan took we'll make it more expensive on digital. When you buy an ebook on Amazon, it's cheaper than the actual book because, you have to pay for the shipping and you're paying for the book. So it's kind of a little ironic. But Cosmopolitan, they took that and they nailed it. They did so great with it. So good for them. And you don't have to choose one of the 5 ways that I just said. You can always monetize through layers. And layering technique, it's almost like A/B testing. You're kind of trial and error. And so here's Sortly. Actually, this is a cool app. I don't know if you guys know about it. And you can keep track of all your stuff. And they originally started they just started using display ads. So, someone, because they had a pretty good user base. And then the founder and CEO decided, hey, let's try something else. Cloud is a huge trend. No one even knows what goes into the cloud or what comes out of the cloud, but there's a cloud and everyone wants the cloud. And so you can pay monthly now for $10.99 to bring it all to your cloud so you can keep track of all your stuff, because if you lose it digitally, well, and you can also pay $40 a year for it as well. So you can use many different techniques and monetize through layers, as it's called. And you need a user base. Unfortunately, I don't cover most of it on getting that user base, but there are some tips, especially with UX, on how to keep a user base when someone first enters your app. So some UX, or user experience do's and don'ts. Well, here's an example. Shazam. Who here knows of Shazam? Kind of? I don't know. Yeah. I used it, and they had actually unlocked a feature that it was the most annoying thing. It was so annoying. It was a push notification, and what happened is when you were, it would connect your Facebook friends. It had one of those sharing options, but like 30 of my friends are all like on Shazamming, and I would get like 30 notifications a day, and I'm like, go away. So it actually got a little bit of a bad PR reputation. And a bunch of forums, people were complaining about it. So you have to be careful with your UX strategy, because, not only did they lose users, but it's a bad marketing and PR, bad SEO. So it's around the interweb. So this is a great study. Who here uses Tinder? Be honest, raise your hand. You use Tinder? Maybe I had it or nodded you. So Tinder is such an awesome app. It's the most simple thing. And mostly, dating is complicated. Dating is hard. Even eHarmony and all those dating sites, it actually makes you overthink and rethink things. And Tinder was like, no, I'm just going to take this opportunity. You don't know if you got rejected. You found a match and you're waiting for the match to come back. You don't have that anticipation of waiting or overthinking. You're just hotting or nodding it. And if you happen to get a match, it automatically creates a conversation for you. Like, great job, Tinder. Definitely keeping users. It's growing. I remember when I used it like 4 years ago. And now I see it in Colombia. I see like my coworkers using it. Great job, Tinder. It's clearly expanding. So, if anything, what I just said that you learned is the #1 rule for mobile apps should be easy to use, easy to pay. You want to make sure your UX is good, you're not disengaging the user. You want to make sure in-app purchases are a really easy way to have people pay you. And this is just a list of some features maybe to keep in mind for when you're early staging your app design with your designers. Create a natural features for using with hands, non-keyboard, like swiping, the Tinder swipe. Dragging and dropping tabs. Facebook does that with their Messenger now. If you guys have the updated version, like you're in a conversation, you can just throw it to the bottom and it deletes it. Menu bars, easy menu bars, and customer feedback too, so you can keep improving your application. So, like I said, be careful not to disengage the user. So, having a mobile-first strategy. Your users are constantly asking themselves, it sounds funny, does this app add value to my life? It's like an app in your life, but it's true. You're on your phone and you're not necessarily sure which apps you want to keep. You only have a certain amount of data on it, which apps you want to download. Like the Starbucks app, for example, I have it because I need coffee. That is like significant to my life, right? Does this app save me time or help me make money? Right? So we have like time tracking apps. Actually, Cumbia has a time tracking app, Dashable. And like our slogan is, well, not our slogan, but you want to save time, make more money, get invoices out the door. And then #3, what do I get from using this app? So lots of times people are trying to solve their own problems when they're creating a mobile app, or any app for that matter. And instead, they're not solving other people's problems. People with a large user base solving their problems. So these 3 things are very good to keep in mind, especially if you're very early stage and wanting to create a mobile app. Okay, so this one is from if you already, little bit of music there. If you already have a business and maybe you're expanding to mobile, right? So you want to have your awareness, your engagement, your consideration, your conversion, retention. Thinking about these things early on is so important. Engagement. Are you effectively nurturing prospect relationships for the long term? We do that a lot at Cumbia. Like, that's exactly what I do. I produce content for people that hopefully turns into conversion and retention, right? Are your mobile app users actually buying your products? Sometimes we get tunnel vision when we make a product and we don't even know that it's hard for us to believe no one's buying it, right? You just keep making it. Maybe if I change some features, this app will get better, or whatnot. So, and the most important are app users coming back to your store consistently. It's not just a one-time download. People are consistently coming back, and that ties back in with the UX stuff I was talking about. So why do most apps fall short? Okay, so we have some development stuff in the first few bullet points. Facebook and Twitter authentication stops working. Actually, we had an in-house product as well at Cumbia called Hi I'm. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It's still getting tons and tons of views and users. But our Twitter integration wasn't working, and we kind of let it alone for a while. And we noticed all these emails and feedback, like, our Twitter integration's not working. Well, needless to say, HiIM isn't, in the face of consumers as much anymore. Random logging out and crashing, that happens so much. Even happens with the Facebook app. They should probably come to Cumbia and fix that. Sharing functionality broken. Searching and filtering is difficult. People try to copy a desktop design. This also goes with the mobile-first strategy, having a web strategy, trying to fit it all into that phone. You can't have everything there, right? You need to pick the important things. App developers failed to implement a mobile-first user experience. Product isn't validated or monetized. And no marketing or PR of the product. So this is kind of why the 90% of startups fail. So we're coming to the end of this talk. And these are some final questions to ask yourself if you're implementing mobile or creating a mobile app. Do you already have a mobile app? What is the goal of this app or idea? What is your monetization strategy? Do you have a digital marketing strategy? Overall goal of your business? Have you thought about your UX? And are you looking for long-term or short-term solutions? And if you guys follow the Cumbia Twitter account, we are probably going to be uploading this to our SlideShare, so you guys can always take a look back at this presentation later. Okay, so next thing. How many of you are developers? Front end, back end? Cool, cool. Designers? How many designers do we have in the group? Cool, you look like a designer. Not that there's a stereotype, but there is. Contradictory. Okay, cool. And what about entrepreneurs? People, you guys want to start your own business? Cool. And I asked this before in the beginning, but a lot more people showed up now. How many of you already have an application, whether it be web or mobile, that you've started? Cool, cool. So I want to present to you guys with Área 2. And tienes un emprendimiento con clientes y un producto funcional. Tienes una app con usuarios y downloads. Necesitas expertos en la industria de startups. Estás buscando expandir tu aplicación más. Mi culpa. So in Barranquilla, Colombia, we created Área 2. And so what it is we are actually a mentorship and co-working space. And you can, if you already have an application that is consolidated or you're trying to expand, so basically applications with traction, totally encourage you guys to come check out Área 2. Come find me after this presentation. I also have some I call them Cumbians with me as well, so we can give you some app books and more information. Totally free. And yeah, and there's just some guidelines and stuff, but we're trying to really just grow the tech in Colombia and whatnot. So here's our information. We have a landing page and a Twitter and an email. We have to change that, but it still works. So if any of you guys are interested in Área 2, please come find me. Awesome opportunity, and you don't necessarily need to be from Barranquilla to come, okay? We're giving really good opportunities for this. And back to Cumbia, not to get off subject. If you guys have any more questions, you guys can always email me at kate@cumbia.com. And you guys can follow our social media handles as well. We have tons and tons of information for you guys there. Working really hard in marketing to make sure we produce the best content for you guys. And yeah, hashtag mobile money. Tweet me out. And I guess I'll leave this open. I'm not sure what time it is, but if we have time for questions, if any of you guys have any questions, please feel free. Does someone pass off the microphone? The microphone? To people if they have a question.
Parece que nadie tiene ninguna pregunta.
Oh, no one?
¿Tienen alguna pregunta al respecto?
Perfecto. Yeah, give them that. And then if I can... Perfect.
Hola.
Hola, en español o inglés.
Spanish.
Ah, ok. Necesito...
Ok, la pregunta es cuando yo creo una aplicación, digamos, básica para un proyecto o una comunidad, pues, una comunidad de personas, yo debo utilizar, digamos, hay unos, ¿cómo se puede decir? Unas especies de aplicativos en la web donde, pues, le ofrecen a uno colocar publicidad en su app. Tú ahorita estabas explicando acerca de las nuevas formas de mercadear un aplicativo, pues, ¿dónde específicamente uno encuentra información sobre lo que tú hablabas, lo que decía Steve Jobs, y dónde, y si es aconsejable, digamos, utilizar esos frameworks de algunas páginas que te ofrecen meter pues publicidad en tu aplicativo web? ¿Qué tan conveniente es eso?
Yes. So, if I understand the question correctly, this is difficult. You're wondering if where do you find these ad networks and how do you implement them? Más o menos. Sí. Okay. Yeah, you can. Let's see. There's Google iMob or iMob. Yeah. Yeah. There's other places you can go, and you can just do a simple Google search, and you can find all these different ad networks. However, if you're, like, as I said before, only if you have a significant amount of users is that useful. I don't recommend it. But if you're doing in-app purchases, I do recommend that. And you can I can send you more information about it, because mostly our mobile developers have the answer to that because it's built into the iOS. Well, not the iOS, that's for the in-app apps, but you can build that into your application. It's simply building it into your application for your in-app purchases. Does that help? So small user base, in-app purchases is pretty much a good idea, and you build that within your app. And then if you have a large user base, you can go find other ad networks that can do it for you. Okay. ¿Sí?
Buenas tardes.
Buenas.
La pregunta es la siguiente. ¿Hay algún software interactivo que sirva para crear las aplicaciones móviles que tú recomiendas?
Okay. And you're not building a native app? No. Okay. Yeah. There's stuff out there. There's stuff out there, but we completely recommend native apps. I mean, I know that there's PhoneGap, and if you know how to code, like basically front end and back end for web, then you can use PhoneGap, and it kind of like translates your language into a mobile app. However, if you're trying to build an app from scratch, we definitely recommend native, Objective-C for iOS, and then Java for Android. And actually, we have Renee right there. If you want to talk with him later, he's actually our iOS mobile developer. Oh, well, he does Android too. Perfect. So yeah, he's a great person to talk to about that. Thank you.
Buenas tardes. Mi pregunta es, ¿cuánto es exactamente una base significativa para ponerle publicidad a la aplicación?
Yes, significant. Okay, not just hundreds, not just thousands, hundreds of thousands of users. And some of the 5 ways I gave you, there's some where it can be small or large user bases. But you're not going to be making any money if you have only 1,000 users and you're using in-app ads, right? You simply don't have enough impressions or CPM for that. So only if you have hundreds and thousands, millions of users will that be successful. Yeah, that's why it's hard. That's why it's hard for startups and entrepreneurs to be building mobile applications and making money from it. It's very difficult because you need that user base.
Muy buenas tardes. Yo veo que Tinder, mi pregunta es, ¿Tinder cómo ganan dinero cuando yo veo que ellos no manejan publicidad? Usted dice que ellos manejan dinero a través de su base de datos, que es muy grande, pero ellos luego están vendiendo esa información o están esperando a una compra de la empresa, tal como pasó con Instagram.
Can you repeat that again?
A ver, Tinder maneja simplemente información de que si te gusta una persona o no te gusta una persona. Por lo tanto, el negocio de ellos está en la cantidad de información que hay en sus bases de datos. Mi pregunta es, ¿cómo ganan ellos dinero si esta información, ellos no la están vendiendo, simplemente la están analizando?
Exactly, and you just hit that spot on when I had talked about data licensing. So what Tinder is doing right now, they're not making money. Well, they could be making money that I don't know about, but I suspect what they're doing is very similar to Snapchat, because Snapchat's not making any money either. And figure how huge they are. They're just getting venture funding. So I'm assuming what Tinder will be doing is eventually data licensing and maybe getting acquired and whatnot. But yeah, they're doing it right. Yeah, they have that huge user base. They can do something will happen with them great. So.
Hola, mi pregunta es.
Gracias.
Mi pregunta es, ahí mostraste 5 formas de monetizar una aplicación, seguramente hay más, pero ¿recomiendas que en una aplicación se utilice más de una forma de monetizar? Y en ese caso, si sí, ¿qué combinaciones son buenas?
Yes, is that for a startup? Or, yeah, early stage? Yes. Yeah. Definitely in-app purchases is the way to go if you're really trying to monetize early on. Maybe also really in-app ads is the way to go. I mean, unless you're getting if you're getting funding, in-app ads is the best way if you're a small startup. Otherwise, you would need the best way is to have a great, marketing and PR, talking with journalists to get that user base, and then from there, figuring out which one best fits for you. But yeah, monetizing through layers is definitely suggested. Because it's literally A/B testing and what's making you the most money and what's not. That definitely monetizing through layers is a good way to go. The problem is getting the user base. Yeah, and through that you need validation of your product, getting it to the public eye, getting it in the end face of consumers, and growing that up, and then you can monetize. But there's small ways to monetize when you're small, like in-app purchases and stuff like that. Actually, I have a friend, and he created this app called Fitsby, and basically it's an app that you're like working out, but it like geographically knows where you are, like if you're actually at the gym, so you can kind of compete against your friends, and you bet. And he had no users at all. And you can bet money with your friends, but then he takes a percentage of that. but it's an in-app. It's considered an in-app purchase, but he takes a percentage of what those people are betting. And he told me one day, he goes, people just bet $300 to work out. And I was like, well, there's 5% for you. Great job. You know, so you can get creative with that. Yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, Fitsby just they lost one of their developers, so they're looking for a developer. But, yeah.
Buenas tardes. Acá atrás. Atrás.
¿Dónde? Ah, perfecto.
Buenas tardes. Mi pregunta es sobre cómo monetizar para aplicaciones que su producto se centre en contenidos. Por ejemplo, contenidos periodísticos como crónicas, reportajes, noticias, donde no hay un producto tangible y son productos que no son urgentes, sino más importantes, que no apelan a una necesidad de urgencia de las personas. Entonces, ¿qué otro tipo de monetización se puede dar, además de las suscripciones? Teniendo en cuenta que hoy en día la gente, cuando le gusta un contenido, se conforma o cree que la forma de pagar eso es dando likes, siguiendo, compartiendo, ya sea Facebook, Twitter o todas las redes sociales. Teniendo en cuenta ese comportamiento cultural de hoy en día, que la gente cree que esa es la forma de pagar ese tipo de contenidos, que si bien aportan, no son suficientes para poder que un medio de emprendimiento se pueda consolidar, mantener.
Definitely. The cultural, it's so different here, like so different. I've been working in Barranquilla for a year, and the cultural difference and implications is definitely makes a difference, especially because here I've noticed things are way more word of mouth. And like you said, the likes and the shares and stuff. What was the name of you said like reports? I didn't hear that part. Report at?
Por ejemplo, las startups que la idea de la aplicación es el contenido, el acceso al contenido como tal.
Yeah, so like a news app or magazines, and you said subscriptions. Subscriptions is the best way, but to be honest, getting those users is so important. So later on, and in most cases, if you have like a content blog or something like a blog you're specialized in a blog, you can make money off your blog on your website through ads, because you could be getting that significant user base. As far as getting it to mobile, it's a little bit of a different story. The subscriptions for the blog scenario or content isn't necessarily the best option. That, in my opinion, I mean, usually content, you're getting a lot of traffic views, and I'm just talking about web. You're getting tons of traffic views. You're getting hundreds of thousands of traffic views if you're a pretty known like news, online news, like El Heraldo or something. And actually having an app for that, if you're getting those many users there and you already have the user engaged through there, and you move to mobile, they're all going to move to mobile with you. So then in that case, if you have that many users, then you can use the in-app ads or display ads or whatnot, and you get money from putting other people's ads. It works just like it used to for print, you know. You have people in the newspaper putting in their content area, paying you to put your ads there. But now it's just the digital way. Does that kind of answer your question?
Sí, pero la pregunta iba más encaminada a qué ves que pueda venir cuando hoy en día la gente acostumbra que con un like o con compartir es suficiente el pago. O sea, ¿hacia dónde tenemos que llegar para que la gente sepa que además de eso puede encontrar otras formas de aportarle a las aplicaciones? Como otras vías además de la suscripción y la publicidad.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Not only the likes or the subscriptions. I'm not sure I completely understand, but it seems like it's a marketing question more than what's available. The future and what we have right now is ads, and mobile ads for that work. Yeah, just liking something. Actually, that works with my conversion funnel. If you saw the engagement part, nurturing your leads, those likes, I mean, the ROI of social media is so hard to justify, but those likes are nurturing your users, and eventually they can pay. If you understand, I'm not exactly sure the topic you're talking about, if you're talking about like news, blogs, or like journalism, magazines, but if you have a user base, you're fine. And the likes, the engagement does help to keep a steady user base for sure.
Gracias.
Is that all? Okay, perfecto. Gracias por tu tiempo.